Okay, I'm showing me first. I'm going to show me first. Everyone out there can see. I'm going to show you guys inside this. Actually, no, I'm going to leave the Zoom alone. If anybody wants to watch out there, they can see, feel, whatever, and get an idea what this is all about. I wanted to let everybody know that, hey, look, we're going to do inside of Zoom, show you the inside of a Zoom meeting. I want everybody to learn a little bit. So that's what we're going to do, and ask as many questions. You guys in the audience ask questions. Heather's going to feed comments to me and that kind of stuff and bring up. There you go. Okay, watching on YouTube like that. Andrew just put, so I'm going to show all different sections and windows and stuff like that. Be sure to hit the like button. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So ask as many. I know how to use this. I've used this for a while, but feel free to ask the questions you want. You're going to see inside the Zoom. I'm going to show you what an inside of a Zoom looks like right now. So this is inside of a Zoom meeting. Okay. So when you're in a Zoom meeting, you have all these people, and this is what it looks like. And I want to show you some key points, some key tools and key things. If I can get this on screen properly, let me, going to move this up, I believe. Well, maybe not. Hold on. I have to shrink it down. Got to do a little bit of adjustment. And the reason I have to do a little bit of adjustment is because I blocked out some of the stuff that shows up on screen normally. There we go. So it's sort of still not there or whatever. But if you look on the bottom left-hand side, and you can see me hovering over it, sort of, I hope everybody can see that. It looks like you can, looking at the StreamYard. So, okay. So this is how I mute. So this is how I stop my sound in the Zoom meeting. Okay. So that way everybody in the Zoom meeting cannot hear me. And then if you hit this little, I call it a caret. I don't know. Or an arrow up, and you guys can talk and ask stuff or whatever as we're going if you want. So feel free if you don't see something or something like that. The up arrow gives you the chance to change your microphone. You see all the different choices I have in microphones. I think it's like 10, but I use Voicemeeter, a program called Voicemeeter. And you guys have to talk sometimes because my headset will go out. I'm just saying you're going to have to. So I'm just giving
you have more microphones than I have Chromebooks.
No, I know that's not true. Anyway, and then the speaker, I have also my output speaker and all this kind of stuff. I have all this kind of stuff listed as that as well. The YouTube link, yes, I can absolutely share that. Andrew, would you mind putting that in here so she can share that out with who she needs to? And you just saw how a chat comes up on screen and it stays orange there till I respond and do that. So it's kind of cool, huh? There you go. YouTube is up with sound. Well, that's a good thing because I don't always put the sound on.
I know. I was muted so that way I could listen to it. As Andrew talked, there was no echo. So I'm like, cool.
Okay,
we're good.
Yes. All right. So this gives you a chance here and work on your audio settings. So one of the things here, this is some of the keys whenever you're in a Zoom, when you get in and it's your first time and all this kind of stuff, sometimes this setup stuff becomes a key issue. So like the audio settings, I'm going to click on that. You can see that it has all these levels and things and all this testing stuff, test the mic, test the speakers and all that kind of stuff. This is very helpful and useful for everyone. And you guys, I think I know why Lowell Land wants to see the YouTube so she can see what I'm showing, because you don't see that. I'm going to give you my OBS screen so you can actually just pin me or look at me or whatever. So if you want to just look at that screen, you're going to see what I'm showing and all that kind of stuff. We might get some bleed effect there, but if we do, we do, just so everybody knows. Okay. So that's with the audio. And this is what like I said, here's that section. Here's the audio settings at the very bottom here. I can test the speaker and microphone. All that plays into it. Lots of cool tools, especially when you first get in. Once it's set, it's pretty much set. I mean, it doesn't really change much. Now, the second step in the bottom, if you look at the bottom here again, we have stop video. I can actually stop the video from being seen or shown. And it puts a little red line through it and lets you know that it is muted. Your video is muted. But the up arrow, this is how I chose. When you saw me originally, you saw that I came in with my C920 or my C922. I have 3 webcams. So you have more Chromebooks, Andrew, than I do webcams. I know that's a fact. So just make sure that you tell me that. No, I'm just kidding. again, you guys make sure and keep talking because I don't want my headset to go out and then I won't be able to hear anything. But I have a a Bluetooth headset. I have also, this is my camera for my desktop, my desk camera. This one's a desk camera. So I have a bunch of different cameras here that I can use and bring in. So that's why on Zoom, I can actually choose
Michael,
that. Yes.
I do have a question because you just showed us a whole list of stuff that you have on yours. But when I look at mine, I don't have nearly as many. I do have a lot, but I don't have nearly as many. Are they connected to devices that, or is what's listed there what is actually connected to my computer? Or is it something like, how do I get stuff in that list, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's a great question. So to answer your question easily, yes,
Okay.
they are connected to your computer. So they're all plugged in through USB or something like that. They're all connected in one way or another. So that's how you know what is connected and what is recognized by your computer. You can always go into, if you use Windows. Now, I don't know on a Mac. I just don't. I mean, I'm just saying. But on a Mac, you can go in and you can check. I don't know how to do that, but I mean, on a Windows machine, you can go in and check all the devices that are connected. So you can do that way. On a Pixel Book, you have to do it through Chrome. Chrome tells you what cameras are allowed and connected to.
So it's your system. It's your system actually detecting what is on the device, on the system. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Device on there.
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
correct.
Okay, so so that is two key points. There is the bottom left is the mute, and also the stop video. Okay, so when you do these two things, I see a mute. Yeah.
I was going to say, when you mute yourself, then we can't hear you.
Right.
So
exactly.
then you click it again.
But you can see the identifier down there, and it puts something on your screen that says you are muted. So if you talk into your mic at that time, and then I can stop the video. So in this case, because I'm signed in as Tinkering with Tech, and I have my account added an image in there and an avatar, that's what pops up. If I was not signed in, but I joined a meeting, that I believe, and Andrew, you correct me, I don't think the avatar shows up. It's just a name. I believe if you're not signed in with the app. I could be wrong on that, but Andrew, feel free to interject.
The avatar only shows up, as far as I know, if you've got a Zoom account, because that's where you put your avatar in.
Great
of course,
point.
It pulls it from your Google thing, profile. But that's the only place you can put it in is once you have the Zoom account, you can add the avatar picture.
No, wait.
Otherwise,
that doesn't make sense because you don't have to have a Google account to have a Zoom account.
Right.
It's just what you set up in your account. That's where that avatar comes from.
Right. Yeah.
So if you sign up with Facebook, or if you sign up with
through Google, I see what you're saying.
Utilizing that as a sign in, then that image from that account is what will be over here.
Yeah.
There we go. That makes more sense. All right. So let's look at the bottom here. There has been a couple chats come in. So what we're doing here, we have a chat, and I have it. You can see off to the right-hand side that when I did that, is what happened was it pulled and put the chat on the right-hand side. So if you look over there to the right of this screen, and I'm going to see if I can do this. I don't know if I'll be able to do this on screen, but let's see if I can. Does the arrow show up for you guys? It
yes.
does look like it's showing up. So
it is. We see it.
Okay. Yep. So the arrow is pointing. This is the chat area that I'm talking about. This is when you click on the chat down at the bottom, this is what comes up. There's a lot of features. I'm not going into a lot of details unless you guys have questions on specific things about it. But you can see the two chat messages. You can see over here where it says more. There's added stuff over here. You can save the chat. And as far as I know, if I allowed this and gave you guys permission, you can save that chat as well. I don't know if I did or not, but that's per meeting basis. You can set that up. No one, host only, everybody public and private. There you go. So you can chat differently. So I can allow this to go out to everyone, but if I wanted to say something just to the people that are on here right now, like if I had a message for Dave, I could just send him specific a message and he and I could converse and talk about Heather. That can be really fun and important.
Go ahead and try it, Dave. Good luck.
No. But I love the convenience of that and having that chat. Now, if I click it again, it's a toggle, so it's going to take it off. So it puts it on and puts it off. When I hit that chat, it is a toggle. When you're in a meeting, it's very convenient to have, I'm going to click on manage participants. You can see how many participants you have. This is very convenient for when you have, like I have 8 in here now. If you have 50, it's very convenient to know how many you have. And that number will be 50 right there if that's how many you have. So you can kind of see that up to the right corner of that little icon. But here's what happens. So if you look, now let's look at this section over on this side. The top part becomes for your participants. Okay. So if I have this, I have this top part is for participants and this lower part is for your chat. It kind of splits the screen. So if you get rid of one of those, if I get rid of chat now it's just participants. Now I can see all of the participants listed right here. And I, as the host, have all this cool stuff over here. Now, when you have a big group and you have 50 people, this is kind of a lesson to learn right here. It's very, very important that you allow hand raising. You can see, now you saw that. I don't know if you saw that on screen, but you saw when Russ was in the waiting room. Andrew, I'm going to put
Sorry,
you.
I should have
No,
waited.
that's all right. Andrew, I'm going to put you in the waiting room real quick.
While you're doing that, Sheila is saying she's watching while working with a little frowny face, but she's watching.
There you go. Yeah, how do I do that? I forget how to do that. I can't put you here. It's not from here. Let me right click on this screen. Do you guys see a menu that pops up? Okay, and I can go, maybe I can't put a host in the waiting room. Interesting.
Ooh.
That might be.
Just put Russ back down.
All right.
Russ back down.
I'll put
Back
Russ.
down.
Yeah, all right. So if you look right there, down at the very bottom as a choice, it says put in waiting room. Hold on, Russ. I'm not going to do it yet.
You can
I'm
also
gonna-
do it from. You can
That's what I
also
wanna
do
do.
it from the participants over
Right.
there, but we can't see it on screen. Just so you know, that pop up isn't coming up on our screen.
Oh yeah, it's off screen. Okay. So I can put in waiting room and you can see me kind of going through the menu, but it's there.
Yeah.
I'd rather you be able to see it. Hold on. Let me go right click on this or click the 3 dots. Either way, it brings up the menu and then put in waiting room. So now when I put Russ in the waiting room, it tells me who's waiting over here. Okay.
Mhm.
So it has up in the top, you can see Russ. I can admit him or remove him. If I don't want him in here, I can remove him. This can be very important because of poaching. You can get poaching or trollers and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I always make sure the people coming into the waiting room, I know who they are before I put them through so we don't have all that. Go ahead, Heather. You were going to say?
Yeah, I was going to ask a question, but why don't you let Russ back in?
Oh, yeah.
So not every Zoom has this function. Is there some kind of setting or something that you as the host did before you set this show up?
Okay, that's a good question. And I'm not sure what you mean by what function you're talking
The waiting room. The waiting room.
Oh, yes.
There's not always a waiting room.
That is correct. You can have,
To enable
okay.
it.
You do have to enable it, and that's in settings. And there are 117 settings, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was 129.
It might be.
Either way, let's just not do that.
But one thing I know.
Yes,
Okay,
Lowland.
hold on. Lowland wants to ask a question. Here's what I suggest you do during a meeting. So you have the opportunity. I don't have this, but over on these little buttons over here under participants, you have raise hand. So if Lowland, you'll put your hand raised. I want people to see that come up if it will. I hope it will.
I don't think we can see it over. I think it's off your screen.
How
but-
about there?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now Andrew had,
Oh, yeah.
okay. So Lowland, if you leave your hand raised, just leave that little hand raised over there. I know Russ has his hand raised because he wants to say something. Do you see the
Okay,
hand
hang
hand
on.
raise, Lowland? Do you see that?
I'm trying to
there's like buttons down at the bottom left where it says yes, no, and all that kind of stuff on the participant section.
Yeah.
On the left-hand side, it says raise
I can
hand.
see that. So if I go into my participants and raise hand, where is it? Under
be
more?
Bottom left, maybe?
Oh, I left. There it is. Okay.
Okay, so now she raises her hand, and I'm going to let her ask a question. And when she's done, as the host, I just want everybody to see this on screen. I can lower her hand after I've answered that question. So go ahead.
Oh, geez.
So go ahead, Lillian.
The question I had was, what happens to the person who is in the waiting room? Can they view what's going on in the general meeting?
Great question.
That is a great question. That's a super fantastic question. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let Russ answer that because we put him in the waiting room. Were you able to hear or see anything?
I could not hear anything, and I had a message that said drink a cup of coffee, which I did. I follow instructions every once in a while, not always, but sometimes. But I believe that the host can send a message in the chat box to those in the waiting room. It's a great feature. We've done it. I just got off of a Zoom meeting a few minutes ago. The beauty about the hand raising, besides what you demonstrated for, as co-host, I'm responsible for people raising their hands. When they raise their hands, they want to join the panel. So we had 70 some odd people in our show a few minutes ago. What's nice about it is for the co-host, anybody who raises their hands get brought to the top of the list. I don't have to scroll down as you raise your hands.
Yeah, and it's in order. It's also in order of when they touch and when they hit it.
Oh,
too.
That's cool.
So yeah,
very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And so I can sit there and I can lower her hand. Now her hand's down. If anybody else did that while I'm talking, I can see a hand go up. And that's why it's convenient having this list and these things over here. If you notice when I hit the chat, okay, so now remember how I said I have half screens? Remember this bottom half is the chat and then this up here is the actual participants. What's kind of cool about this, I can shrink them. So if I want to see more comments, I can go up to the very top. There's a little, and you probably can't see it. I don't know if you can. I don't want to show this because, okay, let me go to the chat one. And there's a reason I don't want to show this because I don't want to give out my number of this meeting to the public. So that's why I'm not showing the top. But if I go right here, this is the right here, there's a little down arrow. I can do this with the participants or the chat, and I can click that and minimize it. And what that does, it just brings it down here so I can see all of the participants. And that works vice versa with those. So if I want to bring that back up, I just expand it and it brings that back up. So it's still scrollable within, but you have that option there too to do that. So that's kind of why. Go ahead.
So as a co-host, I don't have a way to raise my hand. So I can't raise my hand and say, Michael, hold on. I wanted to tell you that Terry is also watching. And Marianne is asking, I almost did it again. Marion is asking, so you're using StreamYard to show a Zoom? And we are.
Yes, absolutely. I can show. That's how I do my game shows. If you ever watch on Friday night, that's how I bring everybody in, and I can bring in the videos and use them dually together. Yes. I think I can do this. If I take away your co-host ability, then you're able to raise hand and stuff like that or something like that. But what we can do, one thing that we can do that I do with co-hosts whenever I have them in and do this kind of stuff, because we do this at work, I can tell Heather, I say, Heather, if I see you put up a no or a big red X, if you hit no, Heather, okay, so she hits that, I know she has something for me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's just a signifier for a co-host. I just give that ability to the co-host. So now the co-host knows, hey, you might want to check your chat because I sent you a personal, Heather can send me a personal message right here. This will be between Heather and I. I go right here and I say, what do you want? And quit bothering me. There you go. No, I'm just kidding. So that's individual. Heather and I are the only ones to see that. Anybody else that's in here can verify that you cannot see that. You can see it because I'm sharing my screen, but you can verify that in the chat, that is just between Heather and I, and no one else sees that.
But
That is correct.
that's funny because I don't see it.
You may have to refresh.
Heather does?
That
Why-
doesn't
why
So
would-
make
if you're
sense.
taking her from co-host and taking that.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't.
I got it. I got it. I did get it.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
just I had to
Yeah,
open up the
you have
chat.
to click the chat and everything. Yeah, and all that.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So that's the way that works. I did not take away the co-host ability, but so that's really cool stuff, really great stuff for very productive meetings, especially those of you that are teaching children, those of you that are teaching different groups and new to Zoom. And this is kind of a helpful thing to maybe show them this video so they can go back and watch. Go ahead, Heather.
Or even if you're connecting with family members, you're not able to see each other. You're not able to go visit your neighbors. If you're going to use this
Mhm.
for any kind of connection with other
Mhm.
people, and you got more than 2 people in here, it's hard to connect with everybody if everybody's going to talk at the same time. So that's the great feature, raising your hand, using the little features there on the side to be able to get the person's attention you want to talk. It's your turn
100%.
because it's my turn.
100%. There you go. Absolutely. It's great. It's wonderful. And the other thing is there's file sharing. So you actually have down in the bottom right,
That's
you can see
cool.
it is so cool. You can share something. You can share something from your computer.
As long as the host allows that.
Right. Yeah. No, exactly. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. The abilities are there. It's like what Heather was talking about when your family's together and you have something, let's say, hey, we wanted to show quickly a family photo that we took our last reunion or something like that. You can do that right on screen, or you can just, screen share too. But I'm just saying, here's a file that you can share with everyone and give that file to them. And they're like, oh my God, you need to send that to me. Boom, right away, you can send that to me. So that's the kind of thing. When I do screen share, when I try to go to screen share, if I'm going to screen share a certain spot on my computer, this little down arrow here allows me to allow others or just one person can share at a time. There's advanced sharing. You can set these to where no one's allowed to screen share too. So when I hit screen share, I'm going to hit this one right now. This gives me, I have 5 monitors. So screen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see I have all kinds of stuff, but
Normal people do not have that many. Just so the audience is aware.
but it also shows everything is open. So except for a whiteboard, it gives you an option for whiteboards, which is really great. You can actually share your iPad. If you have something on your iPad as something separate, you could do that. Epic Pen is something that's open. It shows all the things that are open, OBS, all these different things. I have all this stuff. Okay. But that is, and make sure if you're sharing something like a video and we're all watching together, that you share computer sound, bottom left corner. This is a key. If you want to get the sound too, you have to share that computer sound in the bottom left. A lot of people miss that. And they're like, we played a video, but we couldn't hear anything. Yeah, I know, because you didn't do it right. No, I'm just kidding. You didn't you got to add that sound too. So, so there you go. I'm not going to go into that. I just wanted to show you that. The other thing that's really cool, this one was asked I was in a big thing yesterday with 50 people, and I was in with some folks in that. Go ahead. Yes, you have a question. Go ahead.
No,
Lolan, go ahead.
It's probably more an observation and something going forward. I was on a call last night where there were 100 people. It was full, and there were more that wanted to come in, but that didn't happen. So there are 2 things that seem to come up last night that I thought you folks might find useful. One of them was, I think some new people really need some training on the etiquette. I mean, the way people were showing themselves up in the group, and they were all members of a choir. So, I mean, there was nothing gross about it, but where to place your camera and where the light should be, and all of those good things that we all learned years ago. So that's one thing that people need. The other thing that came up over and over last night was, when you were showing all your screens to show, Michael, it raised it up for me. Most people come in with one screen. And so what they need is instruction on how to share a screen, how to move from, how to handle all of this with just using one screen, like their laptop. And that seemed to be really needed by the group that came in last night. Anyway, I'll shut up now.
No problem. 100%. I agree with you. And that's why I like doing these kind of videos and things. I have a video out there right now on my channel that shows how to do a presentation with only one monitor. I've done videos on using just one monitor for this exact kind of thing. So I think that it's very important. And the thing is to be able to give these kind of videos to those people so they can learn some of this stuff and learn some of the etiquette. If you listen to how I was talking today, here's how I do it. So, and here's why I do it. And I 100% agree with you, Lola. And I mean, that's a great point. One thing I'm going to point to right now on screen, if you can see this, it's mute all and unmute all. This becomes very important too, because like I said, when you guys first get in here, hey, please everybody mute when you're ready to talk. I'll allow you to mute, especially when you get more and more people on there. So it becomes even more important. So if you give that up front when they come in and they know that before you actually, start the meeting or go live and stuff like that, or send them a small clip or a small video that says, here's the process. Here's what here's what you're going to do. The other thing is there's settings that you can do in Zoom to where they can only come in unmuted. They start out coming in unmuted. So all of this is etiquette and stuff that we all know and learn. But when you have 50 to 100 people, wow, that's crazy. So all this becomes important. So let's see here. Okay. So I wanted to just at least share that. So here's what happens when I hit mute all. Allow participants. I can allow participants to unmute themselves. I may not want to. Remember, this is especially like right now, I'm streaming to YouTube. It's my accountability for copyright, whatever. If I want to mute everybody's video and I want to mute everybody's sound, I want to do that immediately. I can do it. And I do it. and then you can't turn it back on until I allow you or whatever. That's where the hand raising comes in. So you could actually moderate that way, especially when you have that many people in. The tools are there. It's just a matter of how you implement and what the processes are and what they're going to be. That's the key. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone too. But I mean, and you bring up fantastic points. That is so important with all of that. It's good stuff. I mean, I love it. So anyway, okay. So that's why I wanted to show you that mute. And Russ has his hand raised. So Russ, I'm going to let you speak.
Yeah. One of the things that we do with our classes, if we teach a class, we have a video, short subject video that goes through exactly what Laura Land was talking about. Mm-hmm. We want everybody to come in muted and cameras off. And then we, one by one, have everybody turn their video on, turn their video and audio so we can hear and check out their system in the green room. But what we do is at the beginning of the class or show, we have everybody mute themselves, video and audio. If they want to say something like raise their hand, which is one option, we have them unmute themselves and then turn their cameras on. That way we know. It also, especially if you have a presenter, puts them first slot and to move their chiclet up to the top so that the presenter, if it's not the host, can see that somebody wants to ask a question. So the protocol is, and we say this before we start the classes, video, audio off. You want to say something, unmute your mic.
That's great.
Can see that.
That's definitely a great option. Russ, I don't want to cut you off. I want to try and keep this video short, so I want to get all my points across. That's awesome for afterward and telling us all that kind of stuff. I really do appreciate it, but I'm really trying to make this so quickly learning, boom, send it out there. They can replay the video. But awesome points and a great use case. I love the way you're doing it. You do a great job. And I would love if you wanted to share that video, you know what I'm saying? The little intro video. If you want, it gives you guys a little advertising, but also It's out here for everybody. Just put it out there in the stream. I'm fine with that. All right, so here we go. I wanted to also show you, this is really cool because somebody was asking this about polls. You can actually do a poll. I can create one on the fly, or if I already had a poll, I can do that. So I can really do this as I go. This is fantastic for quizzes, teachers that are teaching, or like this. I could run a poll and say, okay, what did I say about, what was Russ talking about just then on a way that we can do that, that kind of thing. And you guys can answer immediately right there. You could have a co-host, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Do the co-hosts both do you have poll as an option? You do? So
Yes.
Heather does, Andrew does, you guys both have. So you guys could actually create a poll, I think. And then
I don't even know where that is. I apologize.
It's at the very bottom. It's down at the very bottom. You see my screen?
I don't have it.
You don't
Nope.
have it. Okay.
Nope.
So you'd have to leave and come back, and then you would probably have it, I think. But, or maybe I don't allow the co-host to have the poll ability or whatever. So I'm not sure. That is a great, great feature, especially for teachers. If you have pre-made stuff, you can put that up there. Boom. It's excellent. Super excellent. It works fantastic. Recording. I can record from Zoom to the cloud and on this computer. But if you have a free account, you can only record to your computer, no cloud.
Okay.
And your cloud can get full very quickly because depending on how long your recordings are. So be cautious of that as well. The other thing is that's pretty awesome. I've done this in Spanish. I've been tutoring students, and I have breakout rooms. I'll go in and have like 4 or 5 students. 2 of them are excelling, doing really well. I'll send them off in a break room, or I might have someone that's not doing well with someone that's doing their own thing. I send them into a breakout room. That actual student will help that one student get better, so we're all at the same pace. And then I can bring them back in afterward, and I can go from room to room to room as the host to help them with whatever I need to. It's really awesome, cool. I mean, this is getting a lot detailed, but the functionality is there. Reactions. This is just something you guys can do right in here. I believe everyone has the ability for reactions. You can click it right now and you can just give a thumbs up or applause, and it stays on screen, I think, for 10 seconds, maybe not that long, maybe 5 seconds. Boom, there it went off. There you go. Heather just put one up. I see that. And then it just goes away automatically. It's not something that you have to click on and off. Kind of just lets the host know that, hey, they like that, or that was cool, or whatever, that kind of thing. It's just something they started testing. And then over here is more. You can stream live to Facebook, live on Workplace to Facebook, and then live to YouTube. And they actually have, I don't have this one set up for that, but they actually have where you can send it to an RTMP. So you can actually do that as well. So it can go to whatever you want it to go to that way. So it's kind of cool that they have all these options. I wanted to show this mainly this bottom area and let everybody see all of the tools that are possible. Now, some things are on, some things are not. Keep in mind, Andrew, you have your hand raised. Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading something.
Okay. Okay.
Forget it.
No, that's fine. I should have looked for my red X, but I didn't see it. But anyway, because you're a code. So the key is here, if you're teaching and showing and guiding and all this kind of stuff, all this can be done within here. To recap what they're saying, I mean, Russ brought up some great points about they have a system in place and the people know it and learn it. So even a new person learns that system and process. Loanne brought up the exact same thing. I love it. I like what Mike put out there. He said, no reason for me to take up screen real estate as I just viewing. Go ahead, Andrew.
Okay.
Right.
I do have a note about the polls.
Okay.
The reason co-hosts can launch the polls, they cannot create polls.
Okay.
So you could create the polls ahead of time, and then any of your co-hosts could start them.
So also, that being said, if you notice, you see I have all of these down below there, but if you guys that are in the Zoom right now are not seeing the same thing. You have your mute and stop video. You have that. You have invite. You have participants. You have screen share. You have chat, right? And you have record probably,
Record
and then
and
reaction.
reaction.
So
Yeah.
there are certain functions that you don't have, like a more button and all that kind of stuff. So it's different between whether you're a viewer, whether you're a host, whether you're a co-host. All those things can be different. Same thing over here. Some of these abilities that Heather has and stuff, and Andrew, because they're co-host, and it says right there, you can see where it's written, co-host is there. I can do functionality and things like that, and I believe they can do the same things because co-host has the ability to change put in waiting room, rename, allow to record, all this kind of stuff, make the host, make a co-host. They can do all of that. All of these restrictions can be, like I said, I guessed at 117 settings, but maybe it is 129, like Russ said originally. I don't know, but there's a ton. And then you got sub menus of menus. So hopefully this is helpful to anyone that's out there. If you're watching or rewatching later, I hope this helped. I wanted to show the inside of a Zoom so you guys could see that. If you guys have any questions after this video is done, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear anything. You guys, if you guys have anything in here that you have any more questions, I see Dave has his hand up. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, is there a way for you to do a PDF of your settings so that we could see how you've got it set up?
You want to just copy my settings? Is that what it is? That's an interesting question. And I just want let me just say this, just so you know, you don't necessarily want to copy everyone's settings because something might happen that's different from. I would suggest you test. You know what I'm saying? I think, and Russ, thank you for sharing that video inside the chat here with the folks inside here. Maybe
I'm putting it out on YouTube as well.
Awesome.
I
Thank
asked
you.
him for permission.
Thank you, Russ. I appreciate you. I appreciate that too. That's awesome.
Dave, if I could,
Yeah.
Andrew went through a lot of the options in Zoom in various settings that he has done. I find that the defaults work really well, but there's several pieces that you want to really think about, like file sharing, for example. That's a decision that you might want to look at. But the default settings are pretty good. Would you agree, Andrew?
Mm-hmm. The default settings work well. In fact, what I will do, I don't have it handy because it's on a disk drive that I've got disconnected right now. But when I was doing that, I did a spreadsheet. Each setting, what came with basic, what came with the paid account. You know, basically there really is no default settings unless you don't do anything to any of them. Because the minute you change it, unless you remember what that default was, you'll never get back to it.
Yeah.
That's the reason I did a spreadsheet, so you could check off and keep track of what your settings were.
Well, and I
Hey,
did.
I'll get the link to
pause
that.
for a second.
Yeah,
pause
go
for
ahead.
a second. Michael, you're the only one on screen, just so you know.
I know. Here, I'll change
All
that.
right.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we need to get you guys out there that are talking. That's good. Thank you. And here's my deal too. Join our community. I have on our website. I have on our website a Zoom page, and I go through. Right now, I've created a video that you can go through every single setting and what that setting means. And I'm doing that for each different section. I know. And what's beauty of that is you can just type the word in, hit Control F and type the word in, and boom, it comes up that way. So well worth that. I will gladly do that. You know, since you came in and joined us today, I can try and get that PDF of that type thing. I'll try and do that if I can. That was awesome. Thank you, Stephen, my son. I just want to recognize that my granddaughter, there you go. My granddaughter came in. She says, I love Pop Pop. There you go. It's good. It's good that that's the case.
Sheila didn't say pop pop, but
No,
she is
didn't.
very glad for the timing of this video.
There you go. What else? What else do you guys have? Anything? Feel free to speak. You can all speak since we don't have 100 people in here. So I'm have no problem if you want to chat. This is good stuff. This is excellent. I appreciate you guys coming and being a part of this and being live. This is an awesome thing. It's tough times right now for everybody. And I understand that. That's why I've done a live video every day for a week now, trying to show people and guide people through this stuff. Sheila says, I agree, Russ. The settings are very personal. I had to look at the 2 or 3 times before I got them the way I wanted them. And that is so true. Very useful and inspiring. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. It is. I mean, it is. I know a lot of stuff, but I love to help people. And that's what I'm all about. So I like to share and help people. So that's why I'm doing this. And this is a time where we all kind of need a little bit of help. So I appreciate everybody coming. Like I said, I didn't want to make this too long. It's already 45 minutes now. We'll stay in and chat in the Zoom as long as you guys want to or can. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I have a lot of different software. Just so you guys know that are watching this out there, I use a lot of different software to make a lot of this where I can show and all that kind of stuff, because people always, they tend to, a lot of times they'll send me something back. Hey, how did you do that? How come you were able to do this and I can't do that with just StreamYard? Here we go. I'm hosting an online networking event on Thursday, and I was going to use StreamYard, but now I see I can use Zoom, and she is on, and she it on, oh, see it.
Show
on,
it.
Show it.
Yeah.
Show it on StreamYard. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I use Zoom, StreamYard, OBS, Voicemeeter. There's like 4. That's just a few to name a few, but yeah, but there's a lot that I do to make that happen. And so if you're watching this again, you don't have to. You can just have the Zoom, have the meeting, do your thing, do your class, do your training. When I do a training with a student or something like that, it's just Zoom. It's just Zoom and me, and I can record everything. And I record the exact hour that I'm there. One thing has really helped me, and this is just in this day and time, I'll have a young girl that I'm tutoring Spanish in. I used to have to either have my wife there, or if I was at her house, her mother had to be there. It's just these are the times that we're in. So this I can do in a live recording. Every single word is recorded. The student can start the recording. So I allow them to do the recording. So if I said anything bad or misbehaved in some way, she has the recording of that. So it really has helped in a lot of ways of stuff like that. And then the parent always gets a recording, and the student has a recording to study it and go back. Just like you guys on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching can come back and watch this video again and get that same information. I hope this has been very helpful to all of you. That's all I want to do is help people. And that's why I'm doing this now. Normally I would do this kind of thing with my community, which you're welcome to join, and the link will be down there for you guys to join. Thank you, everyone, for showing. Thank you, everyone in here in the Zoom. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming in and joining and being a part of it. I appreciate you. I'm going to end the broadcast, and then we can chat a little bit afterward inside here. Let me go through my stuff.